The images after extreme rainfall in South Africa's KwaZulu-Natal province that claimed more than 430 lives, causing billions of rands in damage, still fresh. And while no one event can definitively be blamed on climate change, the mounting evidence globally is pointing in one direction.
I will give you the bottom line. The global energy system is broken and bringing us ever closer to climate catastrophe. Fossil fuels are a dead end, environmentally and economically. The war in Ukraine and its immediate effects on energy prices is yet another wake-up call. The only sustainable future is a renewable one. We must end fossil fuel pollution and accelerate the renewable energy transition before we incinerate our only home. Time is running out.
He called for 5 critical actions, starting with renewable energy technologies that must be treated as essential global public goods, calling for a global coalition on battery storage to fast-track innovation and deployment, to secure, scale up and diversify the supply of critical components and raw materials for renewable energy technologies, for governments to build frameworks and reform bureaucracies to a level playing field for renewables. He urged governments to shift subsidies away from fossil fuels while calling for private and public investments in renewable energy to triple to at least $4 trillion annually.
In many countries, these systems still favor deadly fossil fuels. We must prevent bottlenecks where gigawatts of renewable projects are held up by red tape, permits and grid connections. I call on governments to fast-track and streamline approvals of solar and wind projects, modernize grids and set ambitious 1.5-degree aligned renewable energy targets that provide certainty to investors, developers, consumers and producers. Renewable energy policies are fundamental to reduce market risk and drive investment into the sector.
Guterres says coal, oil and gas receive roughly $11 million in subsidies every minute of every day, highlighting how governments around the world pour $500 billion annually into artificially lowering the price of fossil fuels, more than triple what renewables receive.
For solar and wind power, upfront payments account for 80% of lifetime costs. That means big investments now will reap big rewards for years to come. But some developing countries pay 7 times more in financing costs than developed countries. We need blended finance that provides the necessary structures to close existing funding gaps and unlock the trillions held by private sector. This means adjusted risk frameworks and more flexibility to scale up renewable finance.
The WMO report also confirmed that the past 7 years have been the warmest 7 years on record, with droughts in the Horn of Africa, severe flooding in southern Africa, and extreme heat in India and Pakistan as we enter the hurricane season in North America. A mere snapshot of today's reality. And as the UN chief stressed, the time to jumpstart the renewable energy transition is now, before it's too late. Sherman Bryceby's SABC News, New York.